security check on aisle 5.
Tied like that.
Hello, welcome to Adventures of a Black Woman Sailor. I am in the middle of a huge boat project. I am recoring the bow of my Roslin 30 sailboat, and so far I have taken out the old balsa wood that was underneath the windlass because there was a rotten spot there, and I will be replacing that with a composite fiberglass substitute called Coosa board, which does not rot and absorbs very little water. I am here at Fisheries Supply Marine Hardware out in the courtyard. I work here, and in the last episode, I bought the Coosa board downstairs in our warehouse, and I took it up and I cut it out with a jigsaw according to a template that I made of the deck of my boat. And today I am going to begin fairing down the edges because the Coosa board needs to fit underneath a 3/8 of an inch lip along the side of my bow. But I bought the 1/2 inch Coosa board because in the middle where there's no support, I wanted it to have as much compressive strength as possible. So I'm going to be using the Festool high power orbital sander, and one of the great things about working at Fisheries Supply is that I get to use all the power tools I want for free. While I was outside gauging the depth with the calipers, my coworker Rob came out to check on how I was doing, and being a master shipwright and a boilermaker, he had some thoughts to share on how to gauge depth.
So when you're sanding a multi-leveled substrate like plywood where there's multiple layers in it, and you have the layers reveal themselves, you come off on a taper like this. If you get a nice consistent edge, this actually works as a depth gauge. You can see here, because this goes in, you're taking more off here and here. If you get this to be a nice consistent line, then you know you've got a nice consistent flat taper all the way across it.
With this advice in mind, I continued to taper the surface until it was nice and smooth. I discovered that 3/8 of an inch is just below the upper layer of the fiberglass mat that comes in Blue Water 26 Coosa board. So I've been going through the layer and then stopping once I've got it all off on the edges. I'm just taking a break in the tent here. Everything is going really well with the sanding. I'm making good progress, and the tapering looks good, but it is pretty tedious, to be honest. It takes forever just to get a little bit of material off, and my shoulder is starting to hurt because I can only control it well enough with my right hand, so I can't switch arms. So that's just kind of something I have to go through, but I'm gonna keep going because I really want to get this done and see how it fits into my boat. now I'm just gonna trim down some of the edges with the fine multi-master because I would like to get a very snug fit between the pieces of Coosa board. I've got one of the pieces fit pretty well. The only thing else I need to do to it is score it because as you can see, it's sagging in the middle due to the curve of the deck. And I expect to have to do that to most of the pieces. So that will be one of my next steps. Perfect. Now I'm going to deal with the thing I've been putting off, which is figuring out how I'm going to trim the bow peak, because in the bow peak the fiberglass layers are really inconsistent and I don't know how I'm going to fit it under there. I'll show you what I'm talking about. You see how it kind of slopes. So I'm thinking I will not try to put it under at all in the very tip, but just kind of cut off a straight line and start the edges about 2 or 3 inches back. The fine multi-master is really hurting my ears, so I'm just gonna go buy some earplugs. I might as well just go get lunch while I'm at it. The bow peak panel doesn't quite fit underneath the lip. It needs to be sanded down some more, but I'm going to save that for Thursday when I go into work because it's nice and cold there and it's 90 degrees in here even though it's 65 outside. So I'm going to keep going with the other panels on the starboard side, and hopefully by the end of the day I will have everything but one panel done. There's no way around it. I cut that piece about 1 centimeter too short along the dotted line, so when I epoxy everything in, I'm just going to have to take a strip of spare Coosa board and fill in that space. Luckily I saved a lot of extra. Okay, I am done with finning, except for the bow peak. Stay tuned for next week where I will be scoring my pieces and getting ready for the epoxy.